Welcome back, all my YouTube subscribers, Twitter followers, all the big Met fans out there. I am super thrilled to have JC back on the channel as the Mets just made a huge signing this week. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We got Joe Lutz in the house. JC is in the chat, and he's in front of me. We got Michelle Trapp in the house. What is going on, guys? If you're new to the channel, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and please check out JC's channel. The link is in the description. So we just made a huge signing this week, JC. What did you think?
Yeah, huge trade. I mean, Wilson Ramos, the catcher that batted over 300 last season, is now a New York Met. I'm pumped up. I mean, we haven't had this, and granted, we don't 100% know, it's baseball, we don't 100% know that he can duplicate his production from year to year, especially with, now a new team. But if he could have a year anything like last season, it will be a huge boost. Because, I mean, virtually, we got nothing. From d'Arnaud, Plawecki last season, it was like nothing. Just like, sub 250. It's just bad catching baseball.
Yeah.
But now with Ramos in the building, he's a great offensive catcher. I love that. The Mets haven't had that in a really, really long time.
And supposedly, and I just want to say hi to a few people that just came into the chat. Steve Pazienza is in the chat. What's going on, Steve? What's going on, Bobby Woodruff? What's going on? Meet the Mets. Meet the Mets says Ramos no longer the Mets killer. LL. Yeah, that's right. Joe Lutz says Wilson Ramos so underrated. He really is. Eric Donahue's in the house. But yeah, I love the pickup. I think he's gonna lengthen that lineup. I was sick of seeing d'Arnaud back there. And you bring up d'Arnaud, and we're gonna talk a lot more about Ramos, obviously. But you bring up d'Arnaud and Plawecki. I read that there's actually some interest on the trade market for d'Arnaud, which kind of blew me away. And the Mets might try to get like a utility infielder type or possibly some help in the bullpen. Obviously, you're not going to get a dynamite arm for him, but if you get anything for d'Arnaud, get him off the team.
Yeah, man. I mean, leading up to today, I haven't even heard that news at all. And I'm not like hating on Travis d'Arnaud or anything like that. I feel like I'm just speaking like just straight facts here. I don't know any team in the league, unless it's maybe the Oakland A's, to give up an asset, give up a pick or a player for Travis d'Arnaud. I just don't see a team actually doing that. I mean, he was supposed to be a great offensive catcher. He hasn't really put up the numbers. Defensively, he's such a liability. His arm is so weak. He can't throw any runners out. It's just tough. And I don't see a team really giving up anything for him.
Yeah, I should have pulled up the article. I'm trying to find it as I'm talking to you. But yeah, it is rumored that there's interest in d'Arnaud. And meet the Mets. MH is in the house. Big Met fan there. What's going on, my man? Bobby Woodruff says, hey, JC. No, it was a signing, yes, meet the Mets. But, yeah, there was interest supposedly in d'Arnaud, and I was shocked to hear that. And we need to bolster this bullpen, but let's get back to Ramos a little bit. I wanted to pull up his stats for everybody. Ramos, as you said, very underrated catcher. The last 2 full seasons he's had in the major leagues, he's made the All-Star game. 2017, of course, he got hurt. He only played 64 games. 2016 was probably his best statistical year. He batted .307, 22 home runs, 80 RBIs, and he made the All-Star team. He came in 17th for the MVP voting that year and won the Silver Slugger. And then last year, made another All-Star appearance, and he had 15 home runs, 70 RBIs, and he batted .306. So you're getting a good hitter here from the catcher spot. There's no doubt about it.
Yes.
Big move.
Big move. I mean, you just said it best. You just read off all those great numbers. Not only is he going to be a huge upgrade offensively, but also defensively. He's also been in the league for quite some time now, so he has a little bit of veteran feel to him, that veteran experience. He's played for the Rays, the Phillies, the Nationals.
Yeah.
So he's been around a whole bunch of different pitchers. Now he's going to the New York Mets, a team with a bunch of young pitchers. DeGrom, Thor, Matz, and whatnot, Wheeler. I feel like just the knowledge that he's bringing to this clubhouse is just so underrated. And then not to mention the contract that we signed him for. We have him for 2 seasons, and it's not like we're paying this guy like a mega deal. We didn't pay this guy over $100 million or anything crazy. Super cheap deal. Super team friendly. I'm pumped up.
Yeah, the other thing that a lot of people might not be talking about here, I just want to take a quick look. Bavit is in the house. What's going on, my man? He says, are you kids Blues brother? He has that about everybody who comes on the show. Steven Pazienza says, I think the Mets got Ramos at a bar. I agree. And one thing, John's a big Phillies fan, is in the house. What's going on, my man? But another thing that a lot of people aren't talking about right now, well, that I was just thinking about as you were talking, Ramos played with the Nationals, so he has a lot of familiarity within the division. And he caught the pitchers. So that might have some value. He could come to the Mets and he'd say, this guy likes to throw this pitch in this situation. That could help the Mets a lot, actually, when they play the Nationals.
It's huge, man. And I remember, I think it was probably 2 weeks. It could have been last week, but 2 weeks ago, I know we were talking about the Real Muto trade, and I was really for. I really wanted the Mets to make a push to try to get JT. But I can sit here today and say I'm completely satisfied at catcher right
Oh,
now going into the season.
yeah, I mean, I know he's 30, 31. He's probably only got 2 years left at top, at a good level, but that's all we need him for. He's a nice stopgap catcher, and I was sick and tired of Darno and Plawecki, so I'm glad that they're gone. Bobby says that Ramos is a great player. It was a great pickup. It really was. I love the pickup. And one other thing I wanted to pull up for you guys here is the projected lineup. Now, of course, this doesn't include Alonso because they don't know if he's going to make the squad yet as the starter. But this is the projected lineup right now. Tell me what you think about it, JC. We got Nimmo in the leadoff spot. What do you think there? Would you lead him off?
Currently, I mean, he did a pretty solid job of doing that. He has the contact. He also, he has the speed. I like it. I don't love it.
Yeah, and this is, of course, without Cespedes, who's going to miss half the season. But we got
Right.
Nimmo in the leadoff spot. We got McNeil in the 2, Cano, Conforto, Frazier at the 5, which could either be Alonso or Frazier. You could alternate whatever. Ramos, Rosario, and Lagares. What do you think of Lagares as an everyday center fielder? Are you comfortable with that?
I like Lagares a lot. I'm a big Lagares guy. I don't want to sound biased because I've known about him for a long time, and I'm a really big fan of defense. Right when it comes to baseball, he has a great arm. He has the obviously he has the speed to play in the outfield, and what did he won? He won a Gold Glove, right?
Oh, yeah. He's the last Met to win a
20
Gold Glove. I think it was 2014, 2013, 2014.
Yeah, so he's a great defender. It's just he hasn't really got it together offensively, and that's kind of what you want to see from a guy on Lagares, especially because he's been around the team he's been around the team for a long time now.
Yeah.
So how do I feel about him as this everyday center fielder? I like it. I would be rooting for him, right? I'd be going out there rooting for him, hoping that he has success and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily know if he's the long-term fit, at center field. I personally would want the New York Mets to go out and get another bat.
I'm with you on that. I just want to say, I saw Mr. Bad Dog is in the building. Did a stream with him last night. Please sub up Mr. Bad Dog if you haven't done it yet. He says, Mets making a splash so far this offseason. You just got to hope they produce with the, I think he said something about Movon. It just came up my chat there. Moustakas rumors, I heard about that. Meet the Mets. I'm not a fan of bringing in Moustakas. I don't think they need him. I mean, I know he's got a pretty good glove, but I like McNeil. I like Frazier enough to say that I don't think it's a good fit. I'd rather spend our money elsewhere. Let's see what else here. Yankees are making a run at Machado. Yes, I did hear about that. That would be huge for the Yankees. Just trying to see if there's anybody else. Chris Ross, can you ask him? He is not from New York, Bob. He's from Florida. But JC is going to be in New York in 2 weeks, and I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to be streaming some games together. Steven Pazienza said reports are saying that Andrew Miller, I think he did sign with the Cardinals if I'm not mistaken, Steve.
Huge pickup for them. Huge pickup for St. Louis.
Yeah, huge pickup. I'm a Yankee guy, but yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of collabs, no doubt about it, Bad Dog. Pazienza's, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else here. El Foul Player in the house. What's going on, my man? How you doing, brother? Who would you like to bring in as a free agent signing? Well, we've already brought in a ton. I mean, we brought in Ramos. We brought in Cano. Not that Cano was a free agent. We traded for him. But we've brought in Ramos. We brought in Cano. We've brought in Diaz.
Familia.
And we brought in Familia. I think, and they just brought, it's a minor league deal. He's just going to be probably a 4th or 5th outfielder. But he does bring a little speed. He's 38 years old. But Rajay Davis they just brought in. Who's a nice 4th or 5th outfielder, guy that could steal a base off the bench.
Yeah, Davis is a guy who, I'd probably, if I'm the New York Mets, if I'm Mickey Callaway, I would probably try to put Rajay Davis's locker right next to Conforto and Nimmo. Just give him so much outfield knowledge because he's been around the game for a long time. He's had a lot of success, and then at the same time, he's always kind of been like that bench player, has speed, has a little bit of pop in his bat. I like the signing, especially for his little spring training invite, and I think that's just the one thing about baseball. It's like you never really know how much stock you could put into just the verbal communication between older player to younger player. That I feel like is so valuable.
Yeah, I like the pickup. You got nothing to lose there. Lagares, to me, the problem with Lagares, and I think he could be at least an 80 to 100 game center fielder. The problem with him is he always gets hurt, and I don't trust him. He gets hurt every single year. But his glove is fantastic. What's going on? One Giant Rebuttal's in the house. What's going on, my man? By the way, anybody who hasn't checked him out, please check out his channel. He's got a great channel over there, new YouTuber. Any more news on the Mets looking to trade Thor? I don't think at this point they're trying to trade Thor. You agree with that, JC?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, right now it doesn't really make sense either, because we just traded for Cano and Diaz. We got Familia, got Ramos. We're a little bit of an older team now, trying to make a push. Why deal arguably your second best player on the team?
Yeah, the only way that it would make sense is if you bring in another stud, like a position player. But that would be, and maybe they could sign a pitcher in his place. But I just don't think they're going to trade him at this point. I'd be surprised. What other bat would you like? I mean, I would like. Well, let's get into it. I brought up a quote here from the Mets real quick. One of the guys I would like, but he's injury prone, and we always go over it. I don't like the splits, but he is the best center fielder on the market at this point. It's A.J. Pollock, and the problem with Pollock right here, Brody says it. They've expressed interest in the 31-year-old righty when speaking in the winter meetings. AJ fits us really well, he said. He's a guy that we've been in touch with his agent. I will continue to have dialogue. But according to Mets blog Matthew Cerrone, the Mets quickly learned that Pollock is holding firm on a 6 or 7 year contract worth 9 figures, thus holding up the negotiations. An anonymous MLB executive told Heyman that he could see Pollock settling for a 4-year deal. So if he settles for that 4-year deal, maybe they bring in a Pollock to lead off at the top of that order, extend the lineup a little bit. But that's probably the guy I got my eye on at this point. I know that you like the guy over from the Orioles. What's his name?
Adam Jones.
Adam Jones. Yeah, but he's a little old. That's what you worry about there. 35, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Pollock. I just feel like there's just a little too. And I like Pollock, right? He's a great player, really good defensively. When he's healthy, when he plays at home, he's one of the best players in the league. But the thing is that he's always hurt, and that he's not going to be playing in Arizona if he signs with the Mets, obviously.
Yeah.
I personally think 4 years is a little too long.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd prefer 2 or 3 years. I'm with you on that. I agree with that.
Yeah, but won't sign that. So that's why I'm thinking maybe Adam Jones in center field.
Bad Dog says I'll give you Andahar and Sanchez for DeGrom. Deal? I'm not trading DeGrom. But Sanchez is a damn good hitter. I know Yankee fans are down on him.
Last season, I would have done that deal.
Yeah, but not the direction the team's going right now, right?
Yeah, because that was like pre-Brody, Last season, I kind of wanted the Mets just to be sellers and just get a ton of great prospects and whatnot, but Brody comes in and he's just making moves, Familia, Diaz, Cano, and whatnot. We're trying to win it all this season. I'd rather keep DeGrom. I mean, obviously.
And you could always trade DeGrom at the deadline if we fall apart, if they decide they want to do that. Let's see what we got here. Noah Caho's in the chat. What's going on, my man? The Yankees still have faith in Sanchez. Yeah, they do. And the problem with Sanchez is he doesn't fit with this team now. Now that we've gotten our catcher. And it's not like we could DH him, And then another guy I wanted to bring up actually real quick. Good lefty reliever. He was a starter last year. The Mets have shown interest. I wanted to pull up that quote real quick. The market for free agent left-handed pitchers began to narrow. Obviously, Andrew Miller just signed with the Cardinals. But the Mets are still looking for help in that department. And along with the Phillies are showing heavy interest in trading for Rangers lefty Mike Minor. Minor, and then it goes on to say Minor returned to the Royals out of the bullpen in 2017, recording a 2.55 ERA, and he's especially good against lefties. In 2017, when he pitched out of the bullpen, lefties only batted 163. So that's an interesting guy to keep an eye on, a guy that the Mets could potentially pick up. What do you think of Minor?
I like Minor. I think he'd definitely be a better option than Jerry Blevins, who's a guy, another like lefty, kind of a lefty specialist too. But I would prefer Minor. He's been in the league a little bit longer. I kind of like the veteran aspect of it, especially with this New York Mets team. Minor's a guy who he actually has a little bit of a funky delivery. I like that. And I don't see why the Mets wouldn't, because I feel like we're just missing one lefty in the bullpen to kind of complete it. And Miller, I thought, was that guy, but now it's kind of narrowing it down to Minor or Blevins. I mean, those are really like the I don't want to call them top end guys, but the guys like left on the market for relievers.
Yeah, I'd be happy with Minor. I think that would lengthen the bullpen. And everybody forgets we're gonna have Gazelman in there, who's a good guy out of the bullpen. Lugo potentially, depending on what they decide to do with that fifth starter spot, whether it be Vargas, whether it be Lugo. So I think the Mets bullpen will be all right, but they could use one more arm for sure. Hunter Pence is Hunter. I don't even know. Is Hunter Pence a free agent?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I know he's pretty old though.
Yeah, he is pretty old. Hunter Pence is a throwback though. I always liked him. Chokes up on the bat. He doesn't wear batting gloves if I'm not mistaken. I've always liked Hunter Pence. One of those players that I've always liked. Clutch player too.
Yeah.
Let's see what
He played for the Giants, the Astros. I mean, he was a good player. He brings a lot of energy, contact, power. He was cool for the Giants.
Yeah, he was huge for the Giants. He was he helped them win that World Series. MH says looking for some budget beasts. Yes, that's what the Mets should name their team the Budget Beast because that's what they do. They're always looking for. They're always playing on a budget. I played baseball growing up. Yeah, I played high school baseball. Not college. I played high school. JC, did you play baseball?
Yeah, not pretty much up until high school I played. And then like once I got into high school, that's when I actually started liking it more, but I never played for my high school team.
Okay. Yeah. I was a pitcher. I played pitcher and outfield. Michelle is hungry. He wants a snack. She. Well, it's a he. I know it's a he because I subscribe to the YouTube channel. I guess he's on his mom's account. But go grab a snack. Mr. Bad Dog, were the Mets ever interested in Bryce? I'll tell you what. I did read a few articles, and I think it's, pie in the sky. But they said that the Mets could creep in. But to me, it looks like Bryce is not going to the Mets. A lot of people think it's the Dodgers at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers just had that crazy trade yesterday that probably free up a lot of the cap. Or not cap, but just free up some money for, Bryce Harper. I think that's probably a likely destination. I don't think they re-sign Machado at all. I think Machado's heading east. Probably Phillies, Yankees possibly, even the White Sox. Like I said, I don't think Machado's going out west. I think it's probably going to be Bryce out there in L.A.
Just get Bryce out of the division and I'm happy. But could you imagine if they kept Machado and signed Bryce?
L.A.?
Yeah.
I mean, how much money is that? That's probably like
$600
million.
It's like $80 million a year probably, or $75 million a year. But the Dodgers have shown that they're willing to spend.
I always wonder like if a team like a team like the White Sox would be perfect to sign both of them because even though they don't have like as much money as the Dodgers or the Yankees and whatnot, they have no contracts at all. They have their first baseman Jose Abreu. That's it. That's their only big contract. They got rid of Chris Sale. They got rid of James Shields, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So they don't really have any big contracts. They have all this money. Just go get both. Go get Bryce and go get Machado. It won't happen. I don't even think they could get one.
Machado, but Bryce to me seems like the type of guy that wants to play in a big market. Whether not that Chicago's not, but it's more Cubs are the more popular team there. So I feel like he's going to either go to a team like the Yankees or a team like the Dodgers. That's what I see with Bryce. It'd be nice if he was a Met, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Machado. I think Machado wants to be paid. I think he wants to be looked at like a face of baseball. He wants to be considered like the man, the face of the franchise. When I look at Bryce, I think he wants to be on a winning team. I think he just wants to have success in the league, along with big pay.
Are you a Bryce fan?
No,
I'm not either.
Not at all.
I am not a Bryce fan. Maybe it's maybe it's because he's a national. But I agree with you. I think he's completely overrated. And Yankee fans might not like hearing this. He reminds me of Stanton. I think Stanton's overrated. He of course has a lot of power, but I thought it was a bad signing by the Yankees getting Stanton. I think they overpaid. I think they gave him way too long. I mean, he already had the contract, but I think they bought into a contract where the Marlins had overpaid and it's way too long. When they got Stanton, he only had, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he only had one 100 RBI season.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of funny when you look at, like, the opposite side of things. When you take a look at the Marlins, I mean, they had Stanton, Ozuna, Real Muto, and then, of course, the MVP, Christian Yelich, on one team, and they did not do anything with that team at all. Yeah. They didn't even make the playoffs with those
that
four
is crazy, and Yelich is a hell of a ball player. He's one of my favorite players in the league. And I liked him when he was on the Marlins. I never thought he was going to become an MVP, but I like Yelich a lot. John Jay. Bobby Wood was bringing up some names here. John Jay, the former Cardinal. I mean, I don't even know if he's a free agent, to be honest. Is he?
Yeah, I mean, where was his last stop? Like Kansas City or St. Louis or something?
Yeah, I don't even know. I know he was with the Cardinals. He was a pretty good player over there, but I don't know if he fits. I mean, if they're bringing in an outfielder, I want a guy that could play center field and he could play it well. That's what I want. I want to be able to keep Nimmo and Conforto on the corners and bring in a guy that could defend in center field. And they may have that guy. If Lagares could stay healthy, I think he's fine. I think he's fine to play nearly every day. And you maybe play a guy like Rajay Davis, you bring somebody else in. Problem with Lagares is the guy always gets hurt. That's the problem. And he's not a good on-base guy. He swings out a lot of bad pitches.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. The whole center field thing with the Mets, it's going to be weird because you have Pollock, right? And I feel like Pollock right now, I don't want to say he's damaged goods because he's not. He's still a great player. But it's like, for a fact, like when as Mets fans, like, speaking of like if the Mets were to go out and sign Pollock, the minute he signs that deal and we like see the numbers, and if it's a crazy, like a mega deal, there's going to be that little bit of anxiousness,
right.
Like a pit in our stomach, just like,
right.
Is it worth it?
Right.
Like, do we overpay for a guy and he's gonna be
and knowing the Mets luck, he's gonna get hurt the first game, and that you know what I'm saying? It's not worth to take that. I agree with you, but part of me's like, I don't see another guy on the market where I'm like, this guy could play every day at the center field spot. He's kind of like our only choice. I mean, unless you go with an Adam Jones. Adam Jones, to me, I've always thought he was very overrated. He's got a good stick, but the thing is, he also played in Camden Yards, which is conducive to hitting more home runs, similar to Pollock. Neither one of them jumps out at me. Let's put it that way. But if you get Adam Jones on a one-year deal, maybe that's the smarter move.
Yeah, I would like it. And the thing is that it's like, if you get a guy like Adam Jones, you're not expecting him to come in and hit 330 bombs. If you sign Pollock to a mega deal, like what he wants, you kind of are expecting him to be a top 3 player on the team. Top 3 hitter on the team.
Yeah, to be honest with you, and I just want to get the chat real quick before I address that Pollock. I see a couple more people came in. Yvonne is in the chat. What's going on, my man? Thank you for tuning into the stream. Stanton is Mo Vaughn Jr., but obviously in way better shape. That's a decent comparison. I mean, he's a slugger. That's what he is. He's a guy that's going to bat 270, 275 most years, and he's going to hit you 40 home runs. That's what he is. Could hit you 50 on a big year. Pollock is very injury prone. I want to trade Todd Frazier. Yeah, I'd like to trade Todd Frazier too, but I think we have to see what we have in Alonso first before we say we want to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Frazier guy. I just hate the way he plays the game. Just swing and miss, home run or nothing. Not a threat on the base pass at all.
I think he's a good clubhouse guy, though. I will say that.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point.
He's a good clubhouse guy. Not worth a lot of money, but Moustakas, yeah, we talked about that earlier, MH. Yes, the Mets are interested in Moustakas. I don't like that idea. I don't. He's old. He's like 33 years old. He does have a good glove. I will say that. He's known to have a good glove. But what do you think of Moustakas?
I like him. It's funny. I hated him when he played for the Royals because, well, maybe I hated him because I secretly liked him. But that was kind of when the Mets and the Royals were going at it the World Series year. And I just didn't like him. Because I like his game, I just didn't like him. But now, since like that allure's kind of like weared off, it's been a few years since the World Series and whatnot. I gotta say, I like his game.
He's a winning player. I will say that. He's the type of player that's a winning player. I wouldn't want to sign him to a long-term deal. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, no, not a long-term deal. Maybe a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
2-year, $20 million. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. I'm back. What did I miss? We're just talking Mets, Joe. We're talking some Mets. We're talking, I don't know when you left, but we were talking about, I'll pull it up real quick. We were talking about the projected lineup. Nimmo, McNeil. I like McNeil a lot, by the way. Real gamer. I like McNeil. Cano, Conforto, Frazier / Alonso in that 5 spot. Ramos, Rosario, Lagares. That's their current lineup if they don't make any more free agent acquisitions. Your thoughts on McCutchen? I like McCutchen a lot. I thought it was a good pickup by the Phillies. I don't know what the contract details are, but I like McCutchen a lot.
Yeah, I thought he was going to dominate last season for the Yankees, and the Yankees were just going to re-sign him at the end of the season. But no, the Phillies went and picked him up. Our buddy Spencer's a big Phillies fan, and he was pretty pumped up about the news. I've always liked McCutchen a lot. Definitely, I don't want to say he. When I think of McCutchen when he was with Pittsburgh, I always kind of viewed him as like the David Wright. Obviously, he's not up to that level, but he's like the David Wright.
I mean, he won an MVP award.
Yeah, true. So he was just there. He was just steady. He never got hurt. He batted for average, power, RBI. You could bat him third. You could bat him fifth, wherever you wanted.
Right.
Speed. He was just an all-around great player, great clubhouse guy. interacted with the fans, just an overall fantastic player, and he was just like a pillar for the Pirates team that was like, sometimes up in the air. Like, he was there when the Pirates were bad.
Right. No, I like McCutchen a lot. He is getting up there in age, though. But real quick, I just want to give him another quick plug. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my man Jet Central. The link is in the description, and please ring that pin. Please give me a subscription as well if you like what you're watching. Ring that bell, and thank you for checking out the channel. Please hit that thumbs up. Yeah, I don't know the contract details. Like I said, Bad Dog, I don't know. Do you know the contract details on that McCutchen deal?
Yeah, I think it was 3 years, 50.
Oh, that is a lot. For a guy his age, that is a lot.
But I will say that the Phillies team right now, they impressed me last season. I mean, how could they not? They're a younger team, and with of course some like older players, but overall the Phillies I thought did tremendous last season. I thought the Phillies were going to be terrible, but they were in the thick of things pretty late into the season, along with the Braves.
Yeah, I was shocked. The Braves and Phillies. I was shocked at how well they played last year. And this division, to me, I think this division is probably the most competitive division in baseball this year. It's up for grabs. Anyone could win it outside of the Marlins.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, the NL West too. I mean,
yeah.
Dodgers, the Rockies just signed our guy Daniel Murphy, which a huge pickup for them. I love that.
I'm excited to see what Murphy could do in Colorado.
330 easy.
Yeah, I like Murphy a lot. I love Murphy.
Double machine.
Yeah, that might help our chances getting Machado. What might, John? In terms of bringing in McCutchen, is that the thought process there? Maybe. Phil, but I think if you pay Machado, he's gonna come. It's just a matter of are you gonna meet his contract demands? I think that's the.
If I'm the Phillies, I'm getting Machado.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, and then I mean, who do you have? You have Franco, who's a guy I really like. They picked that one. They had the #1 pick a few years back. I know they traded Crawford, right?
Yes.
Did they trade JP? Yeah. So they traded Crawford, and he was a highly regarded guy. But they picked that outfielder, the center fielder, who's a high schooler, #1 overall. I forget his name, but
I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
He's straight from high school. He's a really good player, but obviously still a prospect.
Ron Effect is in the house. Ron Effect. Is that Ron Effect's real account? Fake Ron Effect account. Bad Dog just said it. Yankees fan here, but the Mets improved the most in the offseason. Yeah, so far they did. And he says we could contend for an NL wild card. If you listen to Brody, should have pulled that quote up. Brody says we could contend for the division. And I like
Brody is a beast, shot calling beast.
I like the confidence. I like that he's bringing some swag to the Mets. And I agree with him. If the Mets could stay healthy, why not? With that pitching staff, with the improved bullpen, they may need one more bat. But you got Cespedes hopefully coming back in July. Hopefully we can stay in contention until then. He puts us over the top. Maybe make one big acquisition at the trade deadline if they don't make one before the season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the division right now. Nationals are going to get worse. Phillies, depending on Machado, what's going to happen there? If the Phillies sign Machado, I would still have to say that they're the favorite.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, if they get Machado, I mean that's a game changer.
Yeah, he's such a beast. I mean, is Machado in your eyes a top 5 player? I believe he is.
No.
Just because, who would you rank in front of him? Top 5.
Well, okay. I should all around player. He's top 5, but I don't view him as. Baseball is weird. Where like when I look at all around players, he's a top 5, but I don't view him as a player like Cespedes, for example, who could put the team on his back. Like Cespedes, the year the Mets got him, put the team on his back. It's a different type of player. Like Machado's the type of player he's a well-rounded player. He's gonna you know what I'm saying? Like Cespedes had that Piazza quality where he could put the team on his back. There's very few players. There's very few players in the league that can do that. I don't view Machado as one of those players. Where I view Bryce Harper actually as one of those players where he could get on a hot 2-month stretch. And I'm not a huge Harper fan, but he's the type of player that he literally could win you 20 games in the span of a 40-game stretch.
Yeah, I see what you're saying for sure, but like if you want to make this argument for football, like Mark Sanchez is a lot more of a clutch quarterback than say Matthew Stafford, but Stafford is a far better quarterback. You know what I mean?
I mean, with Sanchez, I know he won you some playoff games, and he played better in the playoffs than he did in the regular season. But was Sanchez really clutch?
Okay, fine. Joe Flacco and Rodgers had the same amount of Super Bowl wins.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair comparison.
Yeah, so in my eyes, I mean the top five and I'm not talking pitchers. Not talking pitchers. Probably Trout, Machado, Arenado. Those are locked in.
Altuve.
Altuve and Harper,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Harper's probably there. Unfortunately, I hate saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably.
Chris Bryant, maybe. I don't know.
Aaron Judge
He
is
bounces
pretty
back.
good too. Aaron Judge is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm thinking how good defensively is Aaron Judge? I know he has a cannon, but
He's decent. I mean, he's not known for his defense. Obviously, he's known for his stick. But
one thing I don't like is rating the designated hitter DH.
yeah,
I don't I think there should be a little bit of a I don't want to say a rule change, but just something like an asterisk or something by like their name.
yeah,
Because they don't have to go out there and play defense. They don't have to run around and stuff like that. All they have to do is hit.
yeah. I agree. By the way, and I just want to get to the chat real quick. What does everybody think anyway? Who's your guys' top 5 players in the league? But do you think the National League will adopt the DH at some point?
I think it's leaning in that direction, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm against the DH. I'm just saying that, when you look at a guy like David Ortiz and he's up for MVP race, a few years back.
He only plays half the time.
Yeah, he plays half the time. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like half the. It's just, I feel like it's devaluing the defensive side of baseball, and that's like one of my favorite parts of baseball.
I'm not a fan of the DH, and it's because I'm a National League fan. I like the strategy, and I know the DH is more exciting because you get that. Like, for instance, Mike Piazza would have lasted longer as a Met had we had a DH. There's an example. But, I don't know. I'm a fan of the strategy that goes into it when you don't have a DH. I like that part of the game where the double switch comes into play, where where you have to sacrifice bunt, when you have to decide when to bring in a pinch hitter for the pitcher. I like that strategy aspect of the game.
Yeah, also you see it too with pitchers. Pitchers are I feel like more prone to throw at each other in the AL, which I like. I like to fight and stuff like that. But like, you saw it all the time with Yordano Ventura, who was actually my favorite player at the time. Before he ended up passing away, he would just throw at anybody. And I feel like one of the things that would go in, that would run through his mind was, I don't have to go up to bat. I'm not going to be hit with the ball.
Right.
Whereas I feel like with the pitcher in the NL, if you're throwing at somebody, as soon as you come, up to bat, there's a chance that the ball's going to be coming for you. So.
Right. Yeah. No, it's a good point. It's a good point you bring up there. And Bad Dog said his top 5 players are Trout, Betts. We forgot Betts. Yeah, he's definitely
Betts
in there.
top 5.
Yeah, Trout, Betts, Arenado, Altuve, and Yelich. Those are his top 5. I agree with that. I think that's my top 5. I wouldn't have Bryce Harper in the top 5. And I don't think I'd have Machado in the top 5. I think I agree with that.
What about Nolan Arenado? He's such a beast.
He said Arenado, didn't he? Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it's his third guy, he said. Yeah. But the one thing I'll say about Arenado is where he plays definitely helps him.
True.
That's the one thing I'll say. But he's a great player. My Yankees are stacked in the lineup. Gardy, Didi. Yeah, Didi's hurt, but yes, Didi. This is why I am so jealous of Yankee fans. I'm going to give you 2 examples. Didi Gregorius comes over to the Yankees from the Diamondbacks. The guy can't hit a lick. He comes over to the Yankees. Now he's a better offensive shortstop than Derek Jeter. I mean, if he came to the Mets, that would never happen. And then another example is this. Aaron Judge was barely a top 50 prospect when he was in the Yankees organization. He comes up, he's one of the best hitters in baseball. Ahmed Rosario is the number 1 prospect in baseball, and the guy can't hit worth a lick. So what is it about the Mets and the Yankees where everything breaks right for the Yankees? They get these guys who aren't supposed to be these world beaters, and they turn out to be. And the Mets have guys like Rosario, who's supposed to be the best player in baseball, or one of. And I know he's still young, but he hasn't blossomed yet.
Well, I will say that, Steven Matz and DeGrom weren't really super highly regarded, especially DeGrom.
DeGrom's a great example.
Yeah, so I just feel like the Yankees are in more of a hitter's park. Their hitters are going to do better than ours. And then the Mets are more in a pitcher's park, so our pitchers are naturally going to be, and then, another thing you have to throw in as well, same thing. Yankees have to go up against a DH. They're playing in Tropicana Field, Camden Yards, Fenway, smaller stadiums, Rogers Center.
You say smaller stadiums, but Aaron Judge would hit a home run in any stadium.
Yeah, but throughout the lineup, you would see if you take the Yankees lineup and play them 80 games, 81 games in Citi Field, all their numbers are going to be down.
Yeah, no, Mr. Bad Dog, I know that Judge always had a ton of ability, but he was never... Judge was never... And his pro numbers are so much better than his minor league numbers, and he was never, like, a top rated prospect, and he just came up and he killed it.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
Yeah, he's great. I'm not knocking him. I just feel like the Yankees always get... I don't know if I want to call it luck or if maybe they underrate their prospects and the Mets overrate their prospects. We know as Met fans, they definitely overrate their prospects. I go down the list. I mean, Alex Ochoa back in the day, Generation K, Bill Pulsipher. None of those guys really panned out to be what they were supposed to be. Steven Matz is another example. He was actually pretty highly regarded, and to me, he's been a complete bust. You go down the list. What's his name? Alex Escobar was another outfield prospect that they were very high on. He never really panned out. You go down the list. The Mets position players very rarely.
Plawecki Darno.
Yeah. The two position players that have panned out really that were very highly regarded since I've been watching were Reyes and Wright. And that's about it. Jay Payton.
You remember Ike Davis?
Oh, God, do I remember Ike Davis? Of course I remember Ike Davis. What a bust he was. He had that good half season. That was it.
Yeah.
He's actually the son of the former Yankee pitcher. There was I forget his name, Ron Davis or something. I don't remember, but he pitched for the Yankees. And Davis came up, I think, as a pitcher, and then he converted to a first baseman.
Now he converted back to a pitcher.
Yes. Matz is going to be fine. I hope so, MH. The problem with Matz is the guy can never get out of the fourth inning. He goes 4 or 5 innings, that's it. Matz will be fine.
Matz will be fine.
You're a Matz fan? I could tell you're a Matz fan.
Yeah, he's going to be good. He's a lefty. He has the stuff. It's just about locking it in, honing it in. I will say I was disappointed. I don't want to say I'm disappointed with Callaway's job, like dealing with the pitchers, because bottom line, he put up great numbers, but it's just, it's almost just like, in regards to like football or something like that. If you get like an offensive guy in the building, you expect your offense to do better, not stay the same or even get worse. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, Callaway, to me, I know he's more of a modern day manager. He's very analytical. I'm not a fan of Callaway, and it's still only a year in. I don't want to be too judgmental, but I think he's too analytical for me. I like more of a. I'll tell you, man. I don't know. Is he your type of manager? He's not mine.
No, not really. I prefer like a guy that I really like is Bob Melvin. I like Ned Yost.
I didn't mind Terry Collins. I know he made a lot of head scratching moves with the bullpen here and there. But I'll say one thing about Terry Collins that you cannot say about almost any other manager other than probably Bobby Valentine since I've been watching the Mets. He got his players to play their hardest every single day. They didn't quit on that manager. They quit on a lot of the managers before that. They quit on Art Howe. They quit on Willie Randolph. They quit on a lot of managers. They played hard for Terry.
Yeah, I wanted Wally. That's who I want. When Terry... I don't want to say like got fired, but when they like mutually parted ways, I wanted Wally.
Wally's a fiery guy. He would have been a fun manager.
That's what I felt like the Mets needed. They just needed like the fire. They just needed like the spark to get them going. Because I like playing the game of base. I feel like baseball sometimes it can be a little bit too calm and it's a little bit too friendly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ligma's in the chat, by the way. What's going on, Ligma? I think it's fun when the pitcher hits a home run. Yeah, but remember the Cologne home run.
Yeah.
That was fun. Aaron Boone is weighing down the Yankees right now. Yeah, a lot of people aren't fans of Aaron Boone over there. John in Madden, Eagles are in the Super Bowl. Okay. Collins had heart. Yeah, Bobby, he did. I was a fan of Terry Collins. Sorry, but offense draws eyes, and that's what baseball needs now. Yeah. I'm actually a big fan of pitchers duels, but he's right. What makes money in baseball, and we saw it during the home run chase with Sosa McGuire, is the long ball.
Yeah, no, he's 100% exactly right. But to answer Bad Dog's question real quick, he says, how about Joe Girardi for the Mets? I would personally love that.
I love Joe Girardi, and I was upset last year when the Mets had already made their choice. And I'll be fair, when they got Mickey Callaway, I was a fan of it. I saw what he did over with the Indians with the pitching staff. He really helped them. He's known as a pitching guru. But after the fact, when Girardi got fired, they had already made their decision. Part of me was like, I kind of wish we waited because I like Girardi a lot. I think he's one of the most underappreciated managers in baseball. He's, I think, the only manager in the history of baseball that got fired the year he won Manager of the Year when he was with the Marlins. I like Girardi a lot.
Yeah, he's like a no BS guy. I think he resembles New York well. I think he's a smart guy, obviously playing catcher. And especially this is obviously before we got Wilson Ramos. I felt as though he would have been a big help mentally for Darno and Plawicki.
Yeah, I don't think it would matter, to be honest, because Darno is that bad, but I can't stand Darno. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Yankees should play Chapman more. I mean, he's a closer. You know, you can only play him when you can close, right?
I love Chapman.
Oh, he's great.
My brother hates Chapman, but I love him.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, he throws 104 miles an hour, whatever he throws. Yanks should have kept Girardi. I agree with that. I completely agree with that. I didn't understand when you guys fired him, to be honest. I thought it was a horrible decision. I get staying with tradition, but when your sports is not drawing eyes, things need to change. Yeah, I mean, it's fair to say. I mean, like I said, I'll go back to the Sosa McGuire thing. That you saw what the ratings were. Barry Bonds, you saw what the ratings were. Orioles beat the Yankees because Boone can't manage. Yeah. He's not a good manager. He's really not. I don't watch the Yankees on a day in, day out basis, but I do listen to sports radio. I do catch a Yankees game every now and again. And yeah, I agree with him. Boone, especially at the beginning of the year, was a horrible manager last year.
Yeah, no, I don't like Aaron Boone at all. I felt like it was a little I don't want to say low or sleazy, but it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way that they just hire this guy like just from the TV booth and put him at the manager spot, and like he just like leapfrogged all these candidates just because of he's Aaron Boone.
Yeah, you see that a lot in sports nowadays, where like they bring in these young guys who don't have a lot of great qualifications. Sometimes it pans out, but
yeah, I mean look at Brody, but manager of the Yankees is that's a pretty big title.
That's probably the biggest title in all sports when it comes to coaching.
Yeah, I mean, what else? You're probably like New York Knicks coach, Dallas Cowboys head coach, New York Yankees manager. I would probably say like the top three.
I don't know about the Knicks. I mean, they're horrible, but I know it's a prestigious team. But probably the Lakers. Celtics. But I think the Yankees are the top. I mean, they have 27 championships. It's hard to say that that's not the top managerial position in all sports. And I hate saying that as a Met fan.
Yeah.
Kid Blues in the house. What's going on, my man? Matthew says Aaron Boone is a product of his players. He's not a good manager. Yeah, he's not. Dane Martin says I have to cook. Every time Thane comes into my streams, he says he's got to cook. Last time it was eggs. What are you cooking today, Thane? Sports Lover says, notice that all the teams that are good do not have apples in their stadium. Yeah. You've been to Citi Field, right, JC?
Sorry, just reading some of these comments. Yeah, I have been to Citi Field. I like it. Granted, I've never been to Shea Stadium. I've been to Marlins Park, Citi Field, and then, like, of course, like a ton of the minor league stadiums, like down here in Florida. Like, we have them all over. But those are the only two major league parks I've been to.
Yeah, you gotta go to a few more, man. You gotta hit up Fenway. I love Fenway.
I definitely want to, like a bucket list thing, like check off all, like go to a home game of every team.
Yeah, I've been to 11. I got 19 to go. But I got to do Pittsburgh. I might do that this year. We'll see.
I heard Pittsburgh's awesome.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I haven't been to Nationals yet either. Let's see what we hear. Boone is a puppet that Steinbrenner can control. Unfortunately, that's a lot of the modern day managers. Mo. Boone is way too analytical. Yep, I hate analytics. It's the same thing with our manager. Same thing with Callaway. Too analytical for me. I like guys who manage more with their gut than with analytics. That's me.
Yeah.
You know, you can have a computer manage if you're going to do it the way that they're doing it nowadays. That's just
and they're humans playing. You know, humans get nervous. Humans run a place, they get hot, they get cold.
Analytics can't tell you how, like if you're a manager and you see the guy on a day in, day out basis, numbers can't tell you how that guy is going to hit in a certain situation. Being a big fan of the Mets back in 98, 99, 2000, 2001, I knew, no matter what the stat said, you could throw up any stat in the world, I knew when Edgardo Alfonso was coming up in a big spot, he was going to be a very tough out. Analytics can't tell you that. You know what I'm saying?
Like crowd noise, weather, they all play a factor in it.
Yeah.
Night game, day game.
Yeah, absolutely. Bobby Woodruff, of course I like Shake Shack. It's amazing. Dodgers and Indians are cursed, especially the Indians. What about Wally Backman on the Yankees? Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to stick with Boone for at least a few more years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't rock the boat, I don't think. If they're winning games, they won't rock the boat.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they still made the playoffs last year, right? I mean, Why not? Why not have a computer for a coach? They might as well at this. They might as well at this point.
I know. I'm just picturing right now like just a monitor just in the dugout and just like the coach is like looking at and just scrolling through like looking for numbers and whatnot.
That's basically what it's become. Chris drank a hell of a lot of Bud Light last night. Hopefully I made you proud. Oh, you did, Kid Blue. Kid Blue had a couple of beers last night. All right, very good. Everybody, every time I stream with Kid Blue, nobody believes he's 21. They ask him to drink a beer to prove it, and he won't do it. But he had a couple of Bud Lights last night. Boone is too... You have Modelo's ready for tomorrow. John, I always got the Modelo's ready for the Giants. You know that. By the way, I will announce... By the way, please subscribe to Jet Central. I should be saying that more. The link is in the description. Follow him on Twitter. Great guy, great YouTuber. He's a Jet fan, but I forgive him for that. And I'm excited. JC's coming up to New York. He's from Florida, but he's coming up to New York in 2 weeks. We're going to be alternating channels doing the playoff games and the national championship, so that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I cannot wait for it. Live streaming a few playoff games, a national championship game, like you said. Looking forward to it, man. Gotta get some real New York pizza. Gotta get some New York bagels and whatnot. Check out the city. It's gonna be sick.
Oh yeah, it's if you've never been to the city, and you have, but you've never. It's been a while. You said, right?
Yeah, it's probably been like 6-7 years, probably.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, but Chris, I actually got to get out of here because I have work.
Okay.
In a little bit. So
right. Yeah, I'm gonna let you go, and I'll take a few callers. Let me. Thanks for coming on, JC.
Yeah, man, Chris, thanks for having me.
Thank you for thanking me. And again, please sub him up. All right, let's hide him. I'm gonna expand my picture here, and I'm gonna pull up the call-in number. You guys, I'm gonna give it another 20-25 minutes. So if you guys want to call in, there's the number 91. Oh God, hold on 1 second. I forgot the last digit. That's a problem. Hold on 1 second, guys. I forgot that. There it is. 3540. All right, let me fix that for you guys real quick. There's the number. 914-481-3540. You can call me there if you guys want to call in. Otherwise, I'm going to talk to you guys. Yes, he does. He lives in Florida. Kid Blue. Oh, got a call coming in. Let me take that. What's going on? You're on live with the Entertainer Talking Mets.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Bobby's in the house.
My boy?
What's going on,
my
Bobby?
homeboy, how you doing?
What's going on, Bobby? What do you want to talk about?
Hey, are you going to opening day for the Mets?
You know what? I usually do. I've been to probably 3 of the last 4 or 5. I'll probably go to opening day this year. Yeah.
Okay, where do you usually sit? I want to go to meet you down there. Me and my brother.
Yeah. I have no idea yet. I've had a package in the past. The last 2 years I haven't gotten one. I don't know yet, but when I do get my tickets, I will say it on the show where I'm sitting.
Okay, good, because I want to see you, meet you. You're a nice guy.
Yeah, Bobby,
right.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
We could go to the Shake Shack together.
There
I never went to Shake Shack.
Oh,
they never had that in the old stadium.
Oh, the Shake Shack's great. I'll tell you this, and I don't know how many Yankee fans have been to Citi Field. The food at Citi Field is top notch. Top notch.
Well, they said Yankee Stadium has the worst food. They said on New York news.
Really? I didn't know that. I mean, I've been to Yankee Stadium. When I go, I've only gotten like hot dogs when I've gone there, though. I've never actually gotten the food there.
Oh, I usually eat outside the stadium. I get spread hot dogs before I go into the stadium. I love my spread hot dogs.
So Bobby, are you more of a Yankee fan or a Met fan?
Well, I like the Yankees, but I do cheer for the Mets. I was born in the Bronx, then I moved to Queens. I lived in Glen Oaks. You know where Glen Oaks is? Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I lived there, so I was only like 5 minutes from each stadium.
Very cool.
By car. Yeah.
So what do you think of the addition of the catcher the Mets just made? What do you think of
I think that was awesome. I think he's a great catcher. I think he's much better than the other guy you had. What was his other guy?
Oh, we had Darno and Plawecki.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I like Plawecki. He's a good backup. He's a great backup.
Yeah, Plawecki's a decent backup, not a starter.
Ramos, though.
Oh, God, Ramos.
No, he's a young kid, though.
Yeah, Ramos is a great pickup for me. I really think he extends the lineup. He has the ability to bat in the 5, the 6 spot, maybe the 4 spot on certain days. I like Ramos a lot, and he calls a great game.
And like you said, he's going to help the Mets with the Washington Nationals lineup too.
Yeah, he knows those hitters' tendencies. He knows how those pitchers pitch. That's going to bring a lot of value to the Mets. I really believe that. And he's familiar. A catcher always sees the game differently than any other position player, and he's familiar with all the lineups. I mean, teams obviously turn over year to year, but he's played for the Nationals for a number of years. He's familiar with all the lineups in the league.
Yes, definitely true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so that's going to be a big plus for you guys.
Yeah, I thought it was a great pickup, underrated pickup.
I wish you guys got Wally Battman as the coach. He's great.
I like Wally
remember
Battman.
Him remember 1986 Worcester? You weren't even born then.
I was born in '85, but I know who Wally Backman is. Obviously, I was hoping that he became the manager.
Yeah.
I was with JC on that. I just want to see a couple of guys. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I can't believe the Red Sox fans blamed Billy Buckner for that loss. It was, whose fault it was to lose that game?
Well, I mean,
Bob Stanley lost. Stanley lost that game.
They should have never had him in at first base in that ninth inning.
Yeah, right. Yes, it was the manager's fault. Yeah,
but
he had a bad heel. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And then they're booing. It's horrible. It was horrible.
But I still say...
I think Bob Stanley was big. He had a big nose, Bob Stanley. I think that was why he couldn't pitch. He couldn't get to see the mitt,
I still say...
Yeah, because he used to almost hit Mookie Wilson all the time.
Yeah,
I love that. I won like $1,000 on that World Series that year.
Wow, you were happy. But
yes.
I still say if you look at that replay, not that the run would have scored because he was on second, but I think Mookie was going to beat that ground ball out. It would have been a bang.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, it would have been a bang.
Because Mookie's fast.
Yeah, it would have been very.
And that comeback was amazing too.
But real quick, I just want to address the chat a little bit. I saw Last Jedi came into the chat. What's going on, my man? Thank you for tuning into the stream.
Does anybody else want to call in?
Just in case somebody does want to call in.
Yeah, I know. I talk a lot. Chris, I talk a lot.
No, man, Bobby, I appreciate you.
My mouth is open 24/7. You know that.
I appreciate you calling in, and let's go, Mets.
I like talking to you, Chris. You're awesome.
Bobby, I appreciate that, my man. Bobby from Vermont.
You gonna do the game tomorrow?
I'm gonna do the second half of the game tonight, and yes, of course, I'll be doing the Giant game tomorrow.
Okay, what time does that start? 1 o'clock?
Yeah, Giants start at 1 tomorrow.
I'm afraid they're gonna get their butts whipped.
I'm very afraid of that. We'll see if they keep it close, but I am scared. I think it's a tough opponent. It's a tough place to play.
Right, I know, because I think Andrew Luck's going to go to the playoffs.
I'll tell you, I said it in my preview. I said it in my preview video. I think the Colts are a sleeper team to go to the Super Bowl. I really do.
Yeah, I think they're a good team. They got a good weapons. They got that Mac kid.
But I'm gonna let you go because I got to call a call.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Bye now.
All right. Hello, you're on Live with the Entertainer. What's going on?
What up, Entertainer? It's One Giant Rebuttal.
One Giant Rebuttal. What's going on, my man? By the way, real quick before you talk, I always like to plug your channel. It's a good guy over here. Please check out One Giant Rebuttal's channel, new giant YouTuber. What's going on, my man?
Nothing much. I just wanted to call in, say what's up.
Yeah.
Say how much I enjoy you and Bad Dog together in the live stream, and obviously your live streams as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I do appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I love working with Bad Dog. He's a great guy. But
I will say this. I was watching your guys' live stream last night. Pissed my wife off so much I was asked to sleep on the couch.
Oh, wow. All right. We don't want to create marriage problems.
No, you don't. I made it back to the bed. It's okay.
All right. Good. So you're a Red Sox fan, right?
Yeah, I am a Red Sox fan.
Okay, so I think you're around my age, right? I think you said you were 33, 34?
Yeah, I was born 84, so...
So you didn't really get to appreciate that. Well, not that you would have appreciated it, but we were talking about the Buckner Bowl there. Do you think Mookie would have beaten that ball out?
Maybe. But like, agreeing with Bobby Wagner on the previous caller, I've obviously watched because I go back and watch stuff that maybe I wasn't alive for, or maybe I was alive, but I wasn't, a baby, basically. So it was absolutely Bob Stanley's fault.
Yeah.
My dad said it to this day and said why. It wasn't Bill Buckner.
Yeah, no, I agree. There was no... And actually, if you go back, and it is pretty interesting, you guys could YouTube this. it's pretty interesting. If you go back and look at the before the World Series started, I think it was either Game 1, maybe it was during the World Series, but it was before Game 6. Somebody was interviewing Buckner, and Buckner actually called the era. He said, when you're a kid, you dream about hitting the game-winning home run, and you dread making that error, the ball rolling under your legs to cost you the World Series. So it's pretty interesting that he actually called that days leading up into the event.
That is crazy. I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, you can look it up on YouTube. You just type it in, Buckner calling ball under his legs or something like that, and there's videos.
Well, I'll make sure I'll check it out then.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But, yeah, I mean, that to me is one of the best. I mean, as a Met fan, one of the best moments in the history of baseball. As a Red Sox fan, obviously the worst. But I was glad to see that you guys end up winning a World Series later on, because that must have been so hard for Buckner. I mean, you guys destroyed him.
I do want to touch something. It's a little bit off subject as far as the Mets go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because Bad Dog addressed it in the chat, and maybe it's something that the chat would like to discuss. Analytics in baseball. I mean, the fact that the Dodgers and the Yankees both used analytics there to really manage their teams in the World Series is what helped the Red Sox win the World Series. And that's like an interesting thing, managerial style, using analytics purely. Very interesting thing.
Yeah.
And I hope that doesn't continue forward.
I view analytics, some managers view it as I always compare it to this. I view it as a tool, but not the whole tool bag. And some managers use it as the complete tool bag, and I think that's wrong. You saw the Mets make a huge mistake not re-signing Daniel Murphy. The Mets had he was perfect for that lineup, and I never thought Murphy was going to take off the way he did, but they didn't have any hitters in that lineup like Murphy after he left. The guy that made productive outs, clutch hitter, and because of analytics, they got rid of him because he wasn't a good analytical player.
I will say that was a mistake in hindsight, but don't forget, if I'm not mistaken, Murphy is injury prone, right?
He wasn't injury prone really when the Mets had him, but now he is, of course. I mean, he didn't have any.
It might have not worked out though.
Yeah, well, it would have worked out the first year, that's for sure. They might have won a World Series the next year. You never know if they would have kept him. The guy had an MVP year the next year. But I love Murphy. He's one of my favorite Mets. Clutch hitter. He was always a clutch hitter, even before those playoffs. But I'm not a fan of analytics because it doesn't take players like that into account.
Neither am I. I mean, you look at sites like Pro Football Focus, stat-driven, analytic-driven, and that's why I rebut Big Blue and bias.
Yeah.
Because
he's very
you have to look at both sides of the coin.
Yeah, you do. You absolutely do. If you go by analytics, Eli's not a great quarterback, but you have to take into account, you have to take so many factors. And just going, you brought up Big Blue and bias, and we know his channel might as well be called I Hate Eli Manning. I mean, you have to take so many factors into account when evaluating Eli throughout his career. Where he played, the wind is a factor, the media, the pressure of playing in New York, the big moments. There's so many factors that go into evaluating a quarterback, more so than just stats.
And I just want to add a couple more points, and then I'm going to get off here and let somebody else get a call in. But also, decision-making and being able to check things at the line. Get into the right play, get into a run, maybe when you were called to pass or whatever. Those are a lot of things that he doesn't take into account either as well.
Right. I mean, there's value in that. There's value in an experienced quarterback that could read defense, that knows when to call audibles. There's a lot of value in that. That's why I'm a proponent of bringing Eli back next year. I think with the right pieces, they could be a competitive football team next year. And I'm all for drafting a guy to learn under Eli. I'm all for that.
I mean, I'm looking forward for them being a competitive football team too. This year I said 8-8, 9-7. That's kind of like my expectations for next year, depending on what happens in the off season. Because obviously we need to address. I'm always a person that builds from the inside out. So defense, offensive line,
right,
and then see what you got.
Well, that's why you must love Gettleman then.
Oh, I totally love Gettleman. I was up for joy when Gettleman was hired.
And you're a Boston fan. You're a Boston fan, so that makes sense. Real quick before I let you go, how did you become a Red Sox fan?
Well, basically, my dad, when he was a kid, would always watch sports with his brother, and he'd always take the opposite team to root against his brother. So, like, my dad was watching a Red Sox-Yankee game. Had they been playing the Marlins or whoever, I would have been a Marlins fan. But because his brother was a Yankee fan, he says, I'll take the Red Sox. And I was just basically raised as a Giants Red Sox fan, and I'm a Celtics fan as well. So
Oh, wow. Okay, so you pretty
Plus,
much.
I live in Connecticut and get both markets, so.
Oh, okay. All right, so that's fair then. You're not from New York. Okay, that's fair. All right, I'll give you a pass.
Most people do once I tell them the story.
Yeah, but I'm going to let you go just because I got limited time and see if anybody else wants to call in. But thank you for calling in, and please check out his channel. All right, man. Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, let's get back to the chat a little bit before we get a caller. Eagles have to win. Absolutely, they have to win tomorrow. They have to win out. Beth, thank you for tuning into the stream, Beth. Ligma, oh my God. The Entertainer and Bad Dog YouTube and the Twitters. Yes, absolutely. Please, if he's still in here, please sub up Mr. Bad Dog. Great channel he's got going on over there. Listen to Francesca like 1 to 3 on the fan. But yeah, I mean, real quick, I'll do a quick recap until somebody possibly calls in. Anybody that may have came in late. We talked about Ramos, who of course is the big acquisition for the Mets this year. And I pulled up his stats. The last 2 years he's played a full season. He's been an all-star. He's a great acquisition. Of course, he's 31 years old, so he's approaching the tail end of his career. Catchers tend to break down around that 32, 33 age. We saw it with Piazza. But I think he's probably still got 2 years in him at a top-tier level. Made the All-Star game last year. Had a great year. He batted .306, 15 home runs, 70 RBIs, and only 111 games played from the catcher spot. So I'm excited about the acquisition with Ramos. We talked about the current lineup. This is the Mets' current lineup as it stands. Frazier, depending if Alonso can make the squad as the starter. But you're either going to see El Frazier or Alonso probably in that 5 spot. Top of the order is going to look like Nimmo, McNeil, Cano, Conforto. Ramos could bat in the 5 or 6. You're probably going to alternate it there with Rosario and Lagares at the bottom with the team currently constructed the way it is. I brought up some Pollock news. Pollock, they said, is asking for 6 years to 7 years. The Mets are saying that's too much, and it is. I wouldn't sign him to more than 3 or 4, but I like Pollock. He's injury prone, though. That's the concern there. And then real quick, Mike Minor. The Mets are interested in trading for left-handed Mike Minor, which I think would help the bullpen. So yeah, he's due $9.8 million over the next 2 years, but he is a very good arm out of that bullpen. Would add a lot from the left-handed side. So there you go. Those are just a quick recap. MH says, are the Mets 2018 NL champs? NL East champs? I think it's possible if they could stay healthy. I like them. What time will we start streaming tomorrow? Beth, I'm going to be streaming the second half tonight of the Saturday night game, and I'm going to be on live when I always am. 12:15, I'll have my pregame show up for the Giants. Chris, can I make my picks for the football this week now? Yeah, Bobby, you got to get them in quick. Before the Saturday night game, put the picks in on that video. Eli is going to hurt this team more than help being the quarterback next year. Mo, I look at it like this, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's what's great about sports. I look at it like I'd rather have Eli for 1 more year than sign a guy to 2 or 3 and have to commit to that guy as a stopgap. Because if you miss on that stopgap, you've now committed 2 extra years under the cap to that quarterback. And I'd rather draft the quarterback and learn under Eli. That's my take on it. I think Eli's... I'm mad hungry for some blue waffle. Ron Effect, big blink. He's got Ron Effect's picture there. Big black anal panda. Oh, God. He says, I'm hungry for some blue waffles. What happened to his Asdrubal Cabrera? I like his Asdrubal Cabrera, but the Mets traded him last year, and he's a free agent. I don't know if he signed with anybody, but his Asdrubal Cabrera, by the way, and I don't know how many Met fans are still in here. Asdrubal Cabrera, to me, is one of the most underrated Mets ever. He was instrumental in that 2016 run when they went to the playoffs. I love Asdrubal Cabrera. I don't understand that point, but I don't think Eli is going to lead us to it. I understand that point, but I don't think Eli is going to lead us to a Super Bowl. I mean, Mo, realistically, I don't either. Everything would need to break right. They would need to get a great offensive line. They would need a pass rush. To ask all the problems that they have this year to be fixed in 1 year is not being realistic. But you never know. I think he's our best chance to compete next year. That's really my take on it because of his familiarity with the system. Bridgewater has it too, so I get Bad Dog's point on that too. But if you bring in a quarterback who doesn't have outside knowledge of this system, it's going to take him some time to get used to it. Eli also has experience playing with the players that are already on this roster. That is part of it, and he knows how to play in New York. So you have to take those things into account. So next year, only next year, I do think Eli would give us the best chance to win next year. I don't think we're going to win because I think there's a flawed football team. But could we win 9 or 10 games? I think it's possible. I am not a Jew. I am not a Jew. I'm Italian, half Irish, German, Scottish. I'm a complete mix on the other side. Are you going to be streaming the game tonight? Yes, second half, Last Jedi. I'll be streaming the second half of the Saturday night game. By the way, anybody new to the channel, chat seems to be dying down, but if you haven't done so, please hit that like, please subscribe, ring that bell. Please check out Jet Central. Would you take Foles over Eli for next season? Yes. Well, here's the thing with Foles, John. If it's a 1-year contract, absolutely. But I wouldn't want to commit 3 or 4 years to Foles, and I think somebody will. So, no, I would take Eli on 1 year as opposed to 4 years of Foles. If that answers your question. Very cool, Last Jedi, man. I'm looking forward to it, my man. Damn, I thought... No, I'm 2%. I actually got the DNA results back. I took the test about a year. Actually, I got it for last Christmas. My sister got it for me. And I am 2% African-American. I am 1% Asian. And then I am a complete mix, but I'm mostly Italian and Irish. I'm about 50% Italian and 33% Irish. But yeah, guys, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. Anybody who wants to call, you can. The lines are still open, or I'll talk to the chat for a couple more minutes, and then I got to get ready for work. Oh, God. Here we go. Not going to answer that question. We got some trolls in the chat today. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to be doing the second half live stream of the Saturday night game tonight. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also working on that Dwayne Haskins video. I'm hoping to have that up by tomorrow morning. And, of course, I'm going to be streaming the Giants game. And I hope you guys have a great holiday, by the way. I should have said that throughout the stream. Please sub up my man, Jet Central. The link is in the description. He's a great guy. We're going to be doing some streams together when he comes to New York. But, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for calling. Thank you guys for being part of the stream. I'm trying to build up my influence in the Met community. It's going to take some time. Took a while with the Giants community. Bavith, yeah, I'm calling it quits in about a minute or two. We got to go to work. Follow us on the Twitters. The Twitters, yes, absolutely. My link is in the description, my Twitter link. Russell, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. You too, Russell. You too, my man. All right, Last Jedi. Yeah, I'll see you tonight, man, when I do the second half of the game. What do you think will be the Mets' next signing? Mike asks. I don't know. I mean, they've signed a couple of older center. You know, Rajay Davis is an older center fielder. I don't feel comfortable going into the year with Lagares as the main center fielder because if I knew he wasn't going to get hurt, I guess I'd be okay with it. He plays great defense, but the guy gets hurt every year. But the problem with Pollock is he gets hurt every year, and I don't want to commit 3 or 4 years to the guy. So they're in a tough spot. They obviously they're set at catcher now. They're set at first base, I think, with Alonso, unless they made a trade for a big name, but I don't think they will. Second base, I think you're going to see a lot of McNeil. Shortstop, obviously, we got Rosario. Third base, I think you're committed to Frazier/McNeil this year. And then in the out, I mean, really the only place they could add a bat, in my opinion, is center field. And there's not a lot there. There's not a lot there. Yes, he is. He's a great situational base stealer, Crazy Dog. He's old now. He's 38. But he's a guy that could come off the bench, similar to a Dave Roberts at the end of his career, that could steal you some bases. So I do like him as a situational base stealer. Yeah, Adam Jones, I wouldn't mind on a 1-year deal, MH. I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, my man, John, I'm looking forward to it, my man. Thank you for tuning into the stream, brother. Yeah, I'm going to keep grinding, man. I'm going to try to build up, hoping in season this builds up. When I do some live Met streams, when I do maybe a post-game show with some callers, a weekly Met show like I'm trying to build up now. I know the morning's tough for people, but that's all I can do right now during football season. After football season, it's going to be more prime time. Yeah, Bavith, 2 weeks. I'm hoping 2 weeks I can get some Madden content going. I know you keep asking me that. If not on the channel, I'll definitely be playing it against my subscribers, and I still got to learn how to stream it on the PlayStation or the Xbox. The Mets army will rise. Yeah, I'm hoping we have a good year this year, MH. I really am. I'm a huge Mets fan. Last year they disappointed me. I thought they were going to be a lot better than they were. Had some injuries, some disappointing players. But we'll see. We'll see. Landon just woke up. Landon, my man. Knicks, Mets, and Giants all day. That's my 3 teams too, Mike. Man, it's a rare combo, but those are my 3 teams. So you're at the right place. Landon says, I just woke up. How are you, man? I'm doing good, man. I got work. I gotta end the stream in 3 minutes. I go to 11:45, and then I gotta get ready for work. But I'll be streaming the second half of the Saturday night game tonight, so be sure to check that out. That dude Hamilton on the Reds even faster. Yeah, I like Hamilton. I like Hamilton on a short contract. You know what? Hamilton might make sense now. Good morning, Tweed. Thank you for tuning in the stream. I'm going to be on it for 3 more minutes, but thank you for tuning in the stream. I'm going to have the Mets content up more in the prime time after football season. Right now, the morning is the only time I can do it, but I want to get started with it. Hamilton might make a lot of sense right now. That's a great point. I could see platooning him with Lagares. So I wouldn't mind if they go out and get a Hamilton to platoon with a Lagares. That might make a lot of sense. No, Chris, man, I'm trying to build it up, though, bro. Actually, I work. I work from 12:30 to 9, so I got to get ready for my job after this. But right now I'm doing the Mets once a week on Saturday mornings before work, and it's going to be, as I just said, more prime time after the football season. Les, what's going on, my man? Yeah, my man, I'm doing the Saturday night game tonight, so be sure to check it out. I'm doing the second half after work, and I'm going to be doing the Giants on Sunday. And then, of course, I'm taking off for the holidays, for Christmas Eve and Christmas. Oh, he signed with KC. I didn't even realize. That sucks. Yeah, man, you got to keep grinding, bro. That's how you grow. It's like anything else in life. You got to keep working hard. I'm taking the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to blow out the Bucks. Landon, I think you're going to be happy this week. But I'm hoping as a Giant fan, the Bucks beat you so we can end your season. Hamilton signed. I didn't even realize that. I missed that. But that would have been a good signing to pair with Lagares. Grinding and finding. Absolutely. Always got to rhyme. I always try to throw some Fraserisms, Clydeisms into my football streams. Mo, I'm hoping. I'm hoping the Bucks can take down the boys. I really am. But, yeah, guys, you know what, guys? I'm going to call it quits now. I got to get ready for work. But I want to thank you guys for being a part of the stream. I want to thank you guys for helping me build up my Met content a little bit. If you haven't done so, please sub up Jet Central. He was part of the stream for the first hour or so. The link is in the description below. Give him a sub. He's a great guy. And, yeah, guys, I'll see you guys tonight. I'll be doing the Mike, I appreciate that, my man. I'll be doing the second half of the Saturday night game tonight. I'll be live doing the Giant game tomorrow. Crazy Dog, I appreciate that, my man. Yeah, take it easy, guys. Thank you guys for being a part of the channel. Thank you guys for being a part of the stream. And let's go, Mets.